The following program is made possible with the support of Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza. With 5 locations in the Wilmington area, Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients. Always had them, always will. Wilmington International Airport. Committed to a relaxed, enjoyable flying experience. Now offering daily nonstop flights to Charlotte, New York, and Philadelphia with American Airlines, and Atlanta with Delta. Details at flyilm.com. Ruby Tuesday at Monkey Junction, featuring uncompromising freshness and quality and gracious hospitality. Ruby Tuesday at Monkey Junction, the perfect place for your next casual dining experience. And PortCityDaily.com. You can do without the paper, but you can't do without the news. PortCityDaily.com is your online local news source for Wilmington and the surrounding Cape Fear region.
Heading down the stretch of the high school football season, this is our final regular season edition of Sports Roundtable. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Katz from PortCityDaily.com, where you can find all your weekly information on sports and news across the Wilmington area. We're taking another look at high school football across New Hanover County this week. With one game to go in the regular season, a quick recap from Friday night's action. New Hanover and Topsail were locked in a good one, tied at 28 heading into the fourth quarter. 23 unanswered points by the Wildcats. New Hanover 51, Topsail 28. I wish I had Burke Estes on my fantasy team this week. He had 5 touchdown passes to 5 different receivers in the game, 20 of 25 pass attempts, 276 yards. The Wildcats are 5-0 in the division right now. Laney Amik Watkins had 2 rushing touchdowns for the Bucks. They're 3-2 in conference following a 28-6 win over West Brunswick, and Hoggard ran over Ashley 34-6. Rashad Wallace had a rushing touchdown. Jawan Williams had a 9-yard touchdown reception for the Ashley Screaming Eagles. So that wraps up high school football in New Hanover County from last Friday. Joining us now, our first guest this evening is the head coach of the New Hanover Wildcats, Earl Smith. And Coach, like I said, locked in a good one, tied at 28 going into the fourth quarter. What was maybe the difference in the last 12 minutes of that ball game to get you that win?
Our defense stepped it up. We had been very inconsistent. We went up 15-0 in the first quarter, and I felt like there was just a letdown. And we left them in it, and they had a good game plan, good rushing attack, and they hit us on some play action passes that hurt. But I think in the fourth quarter we finally woke up, and defense did what they needed to do. You'll see it a little bit later. We had a scoop and score by Nas Brown for a defensive score, and of course Burke had another great night, and he did a great job Friday night of scrambling for the first time, getting out if he was flushed out of the pocket.
Well, yeah, there's not much more you can say. You're winning all the games that you're playing right now in conference as we take a look at some of those video highlights. And, yeah, the defense was up to par pretty much all season until maybe a little hiccup through the first 3 quarters of this one.
Yeah, Jemias Williams keeps playing great every week. He's a junior and just getting better and better. And he just leads that front. Get a good sack here by Isaiah Crawford, one of our senior defensive ends. Again, here's a botched punt that we almost get a safety on, but gives our offense good field position to get our first score. And we actually called a punt block there, so we were in good position once he hit the ground. Nice touchdown here from Burke to Lamont. Little corner route, flood there. Lamont had another good night, just 2 weeks in a row, and like you said, we hit different people at different times, which was great. Again, very inconsistent during the first 3 quarters on defense, but when we all play together and play hard, we're a pretty good defensive team. Harrison Hardy, again, this is his first year ever punting. Did another good job here, getting it out to the side, not returnable, and getting it, good roll on it down to the 4. Backs him up again. I think this is when we had our 15-0 lead. Burke hits Garrett Walston for a touchdown. Hitch route to Lamont, good stiff arm there, gets the first down. And again, Burke, this first time he really had to scramble. Gets down, gets us in a second and short. Again, good scramble. Finds senior Carl Scott in the end zone. Real low pass, hard to intercept, and get a score there. Again, one of our bubble screens.
It seems like he had no problem moving the ball last
Right.
Friday.
And here we hit sophomore Freddie Taylor on a touchdown, one of the 5. You know, Freddie and Wisdom Vaughn really coming on here as sophomores and helping us out. Trey Age was injured. He'll be back this week. Nice little wheel route here to Wisdom. Good second effort. Good job protecting the football. Another good catch by Lamont.
Lamont Howard's a guy that's kind of flying under the radar for you this season.
I tell you,
He's put up some big numbers.
Great knowing he's coming back too. Here, Keegan Santos, you know, they were stuffing us pretty good on our run, but we did open up a little bit, and we didn't show it much on the highlight, but ran the ball pretty good in the fourth quarter to eat up some clock. I think this is a really great throw to Wisdom. He and Garrett are pretty close together there. Shouldn't be happening, but Wisdom makes the catch, and that kind of seals the deal there.
That was a kind of well, do you want to take this one or should I take this one? And fortunately, you have a guy in the right place at the right time for the touchdown catch. Obviously, like we mentioned, 5 touchdown passes from Burke Estes the other night. Coach, you know, a Topsail team that, you know, has struggled throughout the course of the year. You're obviously at the top of the division, so you're going to get every team's best shot come Friday night. And that's something that I'm assuming that you're letting the guys know that, you know, this is something that, you know, you need to stick it in for all 4 quarters if you want to, you know, become conference champions.
Exactly. We definitely had that point at halftime and after the game, and we'll emphasize again today when we hit the field getting ready for South Brunswick.
Well, I was mistaken by saying that this was the final regular season show. We head into the final week of the regular season this week, so 2 shows to go here at Sports Roundtable before we get to a playoff edition. Going, as you mentioned, into a game on the road against South Brunswick, a chance to go unbeaten in conference at 5-0 right now, looking to make it a 6-0 mark. Obviously, offensively, kind of, you know, firing on all cylinders right now. Special teams has come along. Defense is just about staying consistent throughout the course of the game.
Right, and I didn't mention it, we started 2 sophomore linemen. Actually, they were JV players. We're doing 8-quarter Friday night because we were pretty banged up. We did get Gus Sonny back. He had a broken finger and had a pin put in it, but he'll be back. So we're slowly getting those guys back, which I think will help. And, you know, we've got an opportunity to win the conference outright for the first time since 1994. And they know that, and it's an important week for us.
All right, the New Hanover Wildcats in position right now to win the Mid-Eastern Conference, heading down to South Brunswick on Friday night. Coach Earl Smith, always a pleasure, sir, and good luck this week.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, we'll take a quick break here on Sports Roundtable. Again, the Wildcats now 5-0 in the conference on a bit of a winning streak here heading into the regular season finale. Take a quick break, catch up with Laney head coach Ashad Yeoman after the Bucks' big win on Friday. Hey, high school football fans, welcome back to Sports Roundtable as we continue a fresh edition of the show tonight. Thanks again to Coach Earl Smith for stopping by. I'm Joe Katz from PortCityDaily.com, where you can find all your local sports information each and every day online for free at PortCityDaily.com. Our next guest, Laney head coach Ashad Yeoman. Coach, 28-6 victory over West Brunswick coming off the bye. Having seen your team live a couple of times, I thought you guys were really sharp the other night, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Limited your penalties. Meek Watkins got in the end zone. Trayvon Green got in the end zone. So kind of on that offensive end, at least, you were really doing some things that you haven't done maybe in the last couple of weeks to get you that W.
Yeah, it's a testament to us getting that bye week off and you know, getting the guys rested and kind of getting back to a normal practice schedule. You know, we had to play Hargadon that Monday, and then we had to play New Hanover that Friday. So we were very, very sloppy in both those games. But that, you know, it helped a lot, you know, getting that rest and getting that normal week of practice.
So kind of fresh and rebooted the engines, headed down the stretch of the high school football season, obviously, as we take a look at some of the highlights. And one of the guys I know that we could talk about after we see some of these highlights on the defensive end, Ryan Daborowski. He's one of the most underrated linebackers, I think, in the conference.
For sure. Yeah, for sure, man. You know, he gets off that edge pretty hard, and he's very, very strong, man. He's one of our strongest guys in the weight room, him and besides him and Jamaz Beckett. Those guys kind of get after it in the weight room. They don't play any games in there. That was the start of the game right there. You know, setting the tone early. We got a nice, good return, and then this is the first score within that series. So we set up a short field, and we got into the end zone. Set the tone early, right off the bat. Got some momentum going. They came out offensively in the double wing T set, kind of mix it up a little bit. Some things that we weren't expecting, and they did a great job of executing. So, you know, even though the score was 28-6, it still was a very good game, and their offense did a great job of pushing the ball and keeping their defense off the field. We just did a good job of finishing some drives later on in the ball game. Once again, here's some big plays from, you know, tackle for loss. You know, looks like Deontay Hicks is in there, and as well as Trayvon McGee. You know, both those guys coming back next year. They're both juniors. They've done a great job, and that's Saquad Yeoman there, coming off the edge. We were trying to get some pressure on him. You know, they did a great job of, you know, pulling those guards out, and we were trying to get some extra bodies in the front, and he did a good job of coming off the edge and keeping contained and not losing his feet on that play. That's Amik Watkins again. You know, we were backed up pretty far, and we swung it out to him, and he did a great job of getting downfield and getting what he could to get us the first down. You know, we had a check down there. Green didn't. He was going through his progressions, and then he just got a little antsy there. But he did a great job of coming off, getting us the first down. And then that's our freshman there, Sherrod Seaberry. You know, he's blocked a few punts and got some touchdowns on special teams for us. And there he is again, coming up big for us as the guy fumbled the ball and making that tackle for us. And then Amik finishes it off, you know, getting some more momentum in our direction. So it was 14-6 at that point there going into halftime, and they did again a great job offensively of coming down, and they were driving, and our guys stepped it up a little bit in that second half, and you know, got some plays to tackle for loss, and there it is again, Trayvon McGee getting a tackle for loss and kind of helping us out, and there's Ryan Dabrowski coming to clean it up, even though his leg was down. But that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on, is just checking into the football just in case something like that does happen. We want to just make sure everything's all cleaned up. There's that swing pass again to Amik. Now that was a backwards pass, and he had the wherewithal to pick that ball up and take it in for a first down. He didn't hear the whistle, and that's one of the things we try to preach in practice. If you don't hear a whistle, man, you just keep going. We competed all week last week against each other, so it was exciting, and I was the ref, and the guys, you know, it was an exciting time last week competing against each other. And there's Trayvon Green again, doing a great job with his read and coming off that edge, and you know, making sure that, you know, those guys played assignment football on the defensive end. And here he is again, having another big run for us, and this actually gets us into the end zone. One of the things that he had been struggling with in the beginning of the game was, you know, he was taking it sideways, and we kind of talked to him on the sideline, you know, just go ahead and cut that thing up, and it would make it a lot more difficult for those guys to make those tackles for you. And there's Ryan Dabrowski again, one of the guys you were talking about. I agree, he is one of the more underrated guys, man, but he is a monster. Again, I said at the beginning of the year, he's a silent assassin, and you know, he doesn't say much, he just kind of gets after you a little bit. We actually didn't shift on this play the way we were supposed to, and there's Ryan Dabrowski once again making some big plays for us, man, and on the defensive side of the ball.
So Dabrowski has a sack, Saquad Yeoman with the sack. We didn't see it, but the big old defensive tackle, Cedric Morrissey, had an interception in the last play of the game, kind of sniffed out a little screen pass. So defensively, you know, you force a turnover there. You get a couple of sacks. Offensively, obviously, Amik Watkins, your playmaker, scores twice. Trayvon Green is getting more familiar, at least more comfortable with that read option that he's been running. So, you know, a good win coming off a bye week. What you expect from a team that had the week off to prepare? Yeah, man.
Again, I'm proud of the kids, man. You know, it was a little bit of a lull in that bye week just because, you know, we had lost to New Hanover, we lost to Harvard in 1 week, and it was just kind of tough on us mentally. But we had that bye week at the right time to kind of get ourselves back together, and I'm proud of the guys and the effort they showed Friday night.
Well, your final home game, only 3 this year. You get it 28-6. You'll have 7 home games next season. Wrapping up the regular season coming up in 2015, you head out to Ashley. A good game should be against a well-improved Ashley team. So I'm assuming that that's kind of the message to your guys this week. You know, it's not your daddy's Ashley, I guess. This is a team that, you know, could you know, turn some heads if you're not ready to play.
Oh, absolutely. And those guys play us tough every single year. You know, a couple years ago, I want to say it was Coach Culler's senior season. We won that game off a blocked extra point. You know, they were going in, they went in and scored and tied it up, and well, they were about to tie it up with the extra point, but we blocked it. And last year, you know, it was tied up at 18-18, and then we kind of pulled away in the second half. But you know, those guys play us tough every year, so we better bring our A game.
Laney improves to 3-2 in conference following the victory over West Brunswick. Coach Ashad Yeoman for the Bucks. Coach, good talking to you, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Coming up next will be Hoggard coach Craig Underwood, also awaiting the arrival of Ashley head coach Jeff Turner. We'll get to those interviews right after this. Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Roundtable as we continue our look at high school football across New Hanover County this week. With 1 week to go in the regular season, Hoggard came off a 34-6 victory over Ashley. The Vikings kind of, starting to gain some momentum, kind of moving into the postseason play. Big ups to Tim Conway, his first touchdown pass touchdown reception on senior night. Josh Jones also had a 39-yard touchdown strike to Hunter Louthan. That brings us to our guest, Coach Craig Underwood. And Coach, it's good to see you. And 34-6, obviously well in check against a well-improved Ashley team this season. And from the conversation, you thought the guys played pretty well on Friday night.
Yeah, I was pleased. We came out, and I thought offensively we executed pretty well early on. Still making some adjustments on special teams with Caleb Kuhn being out, and that changed our game plan a little bit. We ended up going on 4th and 1 a few times and some things like that we would not typically do. But, I felt like, we moved the ball well all night long, and defensively we maintained, a shutout and a very good, I felt like a very strong physical performance through the majority of the game.
Kind of just what you're looking for as you head into crunch time of the regular season as we take a look at some of these highlights. And as you mentioned, Rashad Wallace also found the end zone for you. We'll start up on the defensive end for Hoggard.
Yeah, this is, let's see, we're getting in the first quarter here. Little rollout pass at Cullum Crowley, first-year linebacker. He's just gotten better every week. I'm so proud of him. You can see he's got some good speed on him there, good size, and he's really starting to figure the game out. So that set us up. We got called, we're blocking the back, so it got called back, but it still set up. Here's a 1-yard touchdown for Brian Sasser. QB sneak there. Good little shift that Coach Demick, the offense coordinator, kind of drew up and got us some good push and penetration. This is Josh Jones hitting Evan Allegray. Nice little post route there. Again, good protection. The kids came out and really came to play Friday night. So pleased with that. Here's a rollout. Colin Hare, nice catch right there on the sideline. That's a big time play right there. To get the feet down. That was a 3rd down. Again, Jones at quarterback this time. Jones and Sasser both got good work in. That's Evan Allegray again working and getting those feet down inbounds.
A couple of nice sideline catches right there.
Yeah. We had him pinned deep here. Want to keep him down there, so just good penetration against Cullum Crowley, Will Candair, I believe Tony Moore maybe in on that stop. Sweep around the edge here, attempt. We gave up the edge a couple times early, and the kids adjusted and fixed that. So big time play to Hunter Louthan here, senior tight end. Really starting to get on some colleges' radars, so we're excited about him. Hopefully he's got a scholarship offer coming in. Just a great kid, captain of our team. So bringing some edge pressure here. A little 3-back set that they did. Linebacker does a good job picking it up out of the backfield. I'd like to see a little more pass rush there, but good job with the coverage. So. Rashad here on this one, or is that Tony? That's Rashad, I thought it was. Rashad, I'll tell you, Rashad and Tony Allen, both of them, you can't tell because they're both ripping off big runs these days. It's just great to have that package of those two guys. Rashad finishes the drive there.
Yeah, I do like that you gave it back to Rashad after that 6-yard run. And
we were hoping he was going to finish the big run off, but wasn't able to quite get through there. Here's Zach Jaffray, Mackenzie Frazier. A couple kids making a big tackle for loss for us there. Some good penetration there. Daniel Brunson, Tony Moore rolls out. And Carson Whitaker showing a little vertical there and just a big pass breakup. I'll tell you, our secondary, we started so young this year. We had Traquan Williams, who's the only returning player we really had in the secondary that had any substantial time on the field. And then he got hurt on, so we've really, those guys have done a great job of being coachable and just getting better each week. Here's See a little counter look. Again, Rashad showing more and more wiggle each week. I tell you, he's really come along. He's running the ball a lot more physically too, I think. So very pleased with him. Labib Ishmael getting a good pull and kick out block there. Opening up the trap game inside. Penetration from Will Kandare, Daniel Brunson, Zach Jaffray. And again, guys just flying around the ball. That's what we're really trying to teach, flying around the ball. There's Carson Whittaker again. I tell you, we moved Carson from corner to strong safety a few weeks ago, and really seems to fit him a lot more naturally. He's had a lot more success there. Here's a draw to Rashad. He's just got good vision in there. And the O-line, good job, setting and then working next level. See Chris Scalise down there. He's our senior leader on the offensive line.
Yeah, it's good to see Chris back. I know he had an injury a couple of weeks ago, so he's obviously a center piece to your offensive line at the center position. Evan Allegret, also a guy that we don't talk a lot about, but he he produces some big plays for you. Saw him with a couple. You like to run that jet sweep with him. You also, he can also catch the ball downfield. So Evan's another guy that you got to look out for, another weapon for the offense.
That's right. He's our kick returner. I mean, he's definitely our speed threat. He battled an injury the first half of the season, so you didn't hear his name that much, but he's one of our leading receivers last year and certainly in the last few weeks.
Go along with Colin Hare, Matthew Eakins, another receiver that have done a great job for you. All right, you're heading down to the final game of the regular season. You're going to play a Topsail team that gave New Hanover some struggles last Friday. What's the message to the guys as you head up into Hampstead come later this week?
Well, I think it's just finish. I mean, we speak all year long about get better each week. We need to show where have we improved from the Ashley game. We made a lot of mistakes in this game, so it's correcting those this week. Again, huge emphasis on fundamentals and cleaning all that up so that we go into week 1 of the playoffs, clean and ready to go.
Well, gaining some momentum right now, the Hoggard Vikings, a couple of wins in a row following that setback to New Hanover about a month ago. So, Coach Craig Underwood, first-year coach for the Vikings, looking to fire on all cylinders come on Friday.
That's the plan.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll wrap up the show right after this quick break. Hey, high school football fans, we're looking at high school football across New Hanover County this week, wrapping up the show with Ashley head coach Jeff Turner. And Coach Turner, obviously a tough setback against the Hoggard Vikings this past week. I know that the focus is obviously on Ashley moving forward. You spent a lot of time on the sidelines at Hoggard over the course of the last decade or so. So it was a nice homecoming. I know you got a good reception at Braswell Stadium on the campus, and you still have a lot of fans over there at Hoggard. So it was good to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do have a lot of friends and people that I've been with for the last decade. So yeah, that's always nice. On the flip side, it really wasn't. It was a learning experience. It was not a setback. We're still learning, and I think that it was more disappointing to me on how we handled it. And we're still learning how to do that. It starts in the school. It starts getting yourself ready for a game. And to be quite honest with you, the learning experience for this time is we were not ready to play, and it starts, that day and getting focused. And there's a learning curve that's, going on here, and we're learning every game. We learned a very valuable lesson that, you have to be focused and ready to go. And for whatever reason, no excuses or anything, we did not show up to play, and we're going to have to fix that and use this as a learning curve on that.
Well, I think with that said, though, your team is much improved this year, obviously coming off a season that a lot of people would like to forget. Obviously winless in 2014, now here in 2015. You got a couple of wins under your belt. You've got some pieces to the puzzle here that are learning to play football your way and what's been a successful way over the course of your coaching career, even playing career. So with that said, there are a lot of positives that you're taking out each week, while there are some negatives that I think the cons or the pros are definitely outweighing the cons at this point of the season.
Oh yeah, I mean, for the Eagle fans, I'm feeling good. I'm optimistic. We're moving forward. We have a very bright future once they understand this whole process of the way it's going and understand how our season's gone. There's so much learning that's going into this season that it's going to carry over, and we're going to be much better for it. And so that's sort of what we're doing. You're always disappointed at things because your competitiveness always comes out, but at the same time, these kids have to be taught from the start when they walk into school till the end, taking care of whether it's studies, books, and then that correlates over to the football field. And so we're working the big picture on this. So I think the Eagle fans have a lot to look forward to, and the future looks bright. We can get going and finish strong.
Well, we'll take a look at some of these highlights from last week in that Hoggard game as we get to the footage here from some game film for you. So why don't you take us through these sequence of plays?
You know, we turned the ball over early, and you know, it was just sort of put ourselves in a position, and you know, we had 4 starters on defense gone, so we had to fill those shoes, a couple safeties, and it just, we missed too many assignments. We had too many people running free. We had too many long runs. We missed a couple assignments on the on our coverage, and that happens when, you know, you have a couple days with new kids trying to get ready. So it was disappointing in that respect. It's hard to pull the highlights. Again, I look at the highlights of learning from our mistakes, because that's what we have to do, is learn from our mistakes early, and that's sort of where the Eagle Nation is going right now. We're learning. Here's 10th grade Logan Black. We have a lot of young people, and basically our whole team will be back next year. We have some seniors, but we have some kids right behind them, or they were drooling, that are ready to step in, that will step in, and we won't lose much. So you got a bunch of 10th graders. Joe Barbera is a 10th grader there at our 3 technique, and he's done a great there. There's Joe right there. And otherwise, everyone's coming back besides a few, and they'll fill those shoes. So as it's frustrating, the Eagles should look to the bright side and be ready to just keep going. This is Caleb Parker. We put in, bam, and he made him pay for trying to go that fake punt, which they didn't get the first down on. Caleb was our quarterback, and we had to throw him in the secondary because we didn't have anyone else. So, you know, we missed some checks out there, but we were, you know, missing 2 of our starters back there this week, and 2 in other places. It put us in a bad position, and we'll be better for it in the future. And that's the way we're looking at this. Good, they're going for the 4th and inches, and D-line just sort of pushes them back, and they did not get the first down on that.
Yeah, it's hard not to see the 2 big hog mollies in the middle, Barbera, Russell Corbett for you on the defensive tackle positions for you. I mean, those are 2 big guys. Like I said, they stand out looking like men amongst boys. And like you said, Joe is just a sophomore. So, you know, a bright future for him, and obviously going to kind of anchor that defensive line for many years to come. Yeah,
I mean, the biggest thing now is you know, to have the kids feel strong, feel optimistic, and keep working hard, because there's no time to get down, but there's time to learn. And that we have to learn right now and then correct those mistakes and don't let them happen again. If we do that, which we will, then we'll be fine for it. And that's our goal right now, and that's the big picture. As frustrating as going on and not competing like we should, we have to take away right now to move forward and to bring the process forward into our football program. And so that's where we're at right now, but we're going to keep plugging away.
Keep grinding right now, and what a way it would be to end the regular season, obviously, with a win at home against Laney come Friday. He's Ashley head coach Jeff Turner in his first season for the Screaming Eagles. Coach, always a pleasure catching up with you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of Sports Roundtable. We appreciate all the coaches stopping by with their game highlights each and every week. To cover high school football across New Hanover County, it's the season finale on Friday night. We'll be back next week with a fresh edition of Sports Roundtable. I'm Joe Katz.